On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to look at the latest new Q posts as the Democrats continue to panic and throw everything they have against the president. We learn that not everybody on the inner circle is as trustworthy as we thought. Plus, we have President Trump giving the order for the Attorney General to declassify everything, and we know that brings down the House. That and much more on this episode. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. If you guys haven't done it already, I always encourage everyone to come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure it's bell for notifications, and hit the like button if you guys want to see me make more of this content. So today, finally, we have brand new Q posts we're going to go over here in this video. Where we left off is Q post 3335, and we're picking up at Q post 3336. And of course, I always encourage everyone to come back here and watch these last few videos. If you want to get caught up on what's been going on, and the latest Q posts and what's been going on in the news, you need to go get caught up right now if you haven't already, or after this video, I should say. But also, if you don't know what QAnon the Great Awakening is, and you're new to this, please come here and watch this video. What is QAnon the Great Awakening? It'll give you all the information you need to know about that, and that really helps out the channel big time when you go and do that, so I appreciate when you guys check that stuff out. Now, here we are. We're picking up right where we left off. And of course, if you guys haven't yet, I really want you guys to come here and watch this video. This video I put up a few hours ago. It details this incredible story that when you dive deeper behind what happened, why was President Trump set up with this Russia collusion hoax and this special counsel investigation, this gets into those details, because right now in this video we're going to be covering a lot of the issues, the kind of topical issues, like what happened with FISA-gate, the spying and all that stuff. But then there's layers that come under it, and that's one of the layers you need to start diving into if you haven't yet. If you really want to get tomorrow's news today, you need to come here and watch this video and share this one on your social media, or just watch it after you're done watching this video, because of course you're going to have to come back to my page to find it, as YouTube will not be suggesting any of my videos to you because that's their draconian Orwellian policy, where they claim to be an open speech platform, but then continue to act as a publisher and to discriminate against the civil liberties of those who upload content to their platform. But that's conversation for another episode. I'm just going to tell you guys, they've decided not to share this or suggest this to you, so you're going to have to come back here and watch this video if you guys want this information. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this information. And yes, President Trump is standing up for us. I believe that there are so many people that that are being banned right now by social media, that even him, with his incredible power as the president of the United States, can't stop these private companies from enacting their globalist agenda and their plan to censor America and violate the free speech of individuals who use their platforms and other ways of violating their civil rights. But with that being said, here's President Trump's tweet. When is Twitter going to allow the very popular conservative voices that it has so viciously shut down back into the open? It is time. And I think, I'm not sure, but a lot of Anons have been connecting this one to what happened with, of course, Joe M. I just did a video on this the other day. It was 2 days ago. I did this video about James Comey's tweet, and Joe M., aka @StormIsUponUs on Twitter's decoding of that tweet, which led to this crazy series of events. You need to watch this video if you guys want to get caught up on that, where James Comey actually deletes this tweet that was decoded by Anons, which showed that there was something was going to happen in this rural Nevada town, and then Rolling Stone wrote an article mocking Joe M. and them because they got an event canceled for a school, and then they went and found pipe bombs in these people's houses in that same city. It's just, and then James Comey, of course, deletes his tweet. Unbelievable. You have to watch that. But with that being said, President Trump is putting a light onto this, and he's, trust me, this man has a lot on his plate right now. He's trying to combat one of the biggest globalist, cabals there ever was, and he's trying to do it in a way that helps, restore the sovereignty of the American people. And he's going up against pretty incredible odds. I mean, right here you have Facebook, who has been removing accounts in the billions. In the last 6 months, they've removed 3 billion, quote unquote, fake accounts. Now, however many of those were fake and how many of those were just, inconvenient accounts that were giving messages that they didn't approve of, that is yet to be determined. But I will tell you this, that we're up against incredible odds and seemingly insurmountable odds, but we will overcome this because we have God on our side. And as we all know, in the end, if you read the Bible, God wins. So we're up against a pretty great and incredible, just unbelievable evil in this world. So with that being said, let's just get right into the first Q post. The first Q post obviously is President Trump announcing via, I guess it was an announcement put out by the press secretary, Sarah Sanders, where he's giving Attorney General Barr the authority to declassify documents related to the 2016 campaign surveillance. Wow. This is one of the declassifies that's going to be huge because there's so much to this. And this is also in President Trump's Twitter feed. If we just scroll down, and we're going to go over President Trump's Twitter feed because he is on fire tonight. But here's the statement. This is the same statement released by the press secretary, but I want to read it to you in its full. It's only 3 tweets worth. It says, quote, "Today at the request and recommendation of the Attorney General of the United States, President Donald J. Trump directed the intelligence community to quickly and fully cooperate with the Attorney General's investigation into surveillance activities." It says, "During the 2016 presidential election, the Attorney General has also been delegated full and complete authority to declassify information pertaining to this investigation in accordance with the long-established standards for handling classified information. Today's action will help ensure that all Americans learn the truth about the events that occurred and the actions that were taken during the last presidential election and will restore confidence in our public institutions." And that's from @Press Secretary, of course, Sarah Sanders, the press secretary for the President of the United States. So what does this mean? What does this all mean? Pretty easy. Panic in DC, Q. That's what Q says. Pretty easy to kind of lay this one out for you. We've been expecting the declass for quite some time, and the declass comes in many different forms. There's several layers to it. Like I said, if you want to get some of the deeper layers that are soon to come, you're going to want to go check out some of those other videos I've made after this one. But for this one, it's pretty simple. President Trump has skipped over the normal channels for declassifying information by giving the full authority to the Attorney General, who is in the middle of several investigations into the investigators, the people who started these frivolous, reckless, investigations into collusion. These are the individuals who are being investigated right now, and a lot of the information that's being investigated about them has to start coming out so that the American people can see, especially in the run-up to the 2020 election, how corrupt these people were and how much they weaponized this intelligence against the president to not only go after him, but to effectively undermine the democratic institutions of our country, which they did when they decided to spy on an American citizen without proper probable cause, and they made up their own probable cause by all types of different means, planting spies, by leaking news stories, and then using those same news stories that they leaked to the media as corroboration to their findings and their fraudulent findings that just happened to turn out to be mostly based off of a dossier that was put together by allegedly some Russians that was given to the Hillary Clinton campaign, which he then in turn gave to the FBI through a very kind of hid that through going through these back channels that are all connected back to the deep state. So this is huge. This story is huge, and it continues to get bigger and bigger as we go on. The next post here is this one, which first gives us this post from August of 2018, where it talks about what happened with Loretta Lynch. So you got to understand, this whole thing with Donald Trump Jr. and this phone calls and this meeting with Veselnitskaya, it was a setup. And not only was it a setup, but this Veselnitskaya woman, this Natalia Veselnitskaya, who met with, I believe it was Jared Kushner and Donald Trump Jr., and this was their big bombshell evidence that there was a connection to the Russians. Look at the story of her. So first of all, she gets a special entry visa that has to be signed off on by the Attorney General, aka Loretta Lynch. So there's a paper trail that shows that she had a special entry visa to come to the country just for this meeting. Now, what were the meetings that she took? Well, the one that the media wants you to keep focusing on is the one that happened between Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner, where Jared Kushner walked out and said, "This is a joke. I can't believe I got called into this meeting." And Donald Trump Jr. left probably in the same manner and fashion. And of course, you have Natalia Veselinskaya meeting with the individuals at Fusion GPS the day before and the day after her meeting with Don Jr. and Kushner. Now, that sounds like a setup to me when you have the Attorney General writing a special entry visa for this person from the Obama administration so that she can have this meeting, which who knows what it was about. They say it was about finding dirt on Hillary. Others say it's about adoption. Who knows? Who cares? The fact is, if somebody comes to you as a lawyer independently and says, "I have information about so-and-so," of course, there's no law against taking that meeting. What there is a law against, though, is basically establishing the motive to enact a conspiracy to entrap individuals and to set them up for blackmail and set them up for an abuse of the FISA warrant system. And that's what this whole thing talks about. It talks about how they violated Section 702, which talks about how you should not be able to identify individual targets that are under surveillance, and you can't reveal who they are. And this all goes to the same thing. This was their tactic that they used to spy on the president, to set all of this in motion to get this investigation underway. And because President Trump was going to expose what I've talked about in many videos, including this one here, the hammer, which was being employed by the Obama administration with Brennan's approval and we know this because the whistleblower Dennis Montgomery's come forward and testified, and well, he's given many different eyewitness accounts, and he turned over 47 hard drives worth of information, documentable information, to Comey's FBI in 2015, which proved that President Obama was using this hammer, which was a CIA surveillance tool, illegally against not only President Trump, but many other U.S. American citizens. They literally say, he literally says that they spied on Trump about a zillion times, including everybody in his sphere, and that's how they have all the dirt that they're trying to continue to bring to light. They're going after this guy for like jaywalking at this point because they were able to hack every computer system and look at every single thing he's ever done. So Q says it's important to remember Page is public, remainder are still classified, plus Cruz, Q. And Cruz is very important too, but Page is public, so we know what happened with Lisa Page. She's put her statement out there, or excuse me, not Lisa Page, Carter Page. We know that Page was the one who was one of the first predicates to be targeted. He was one of the main predicates for going in, and of course, Q is saying the remainder are still classified, including the fact that they were not just spying on President Trump. They were spying on Ted Cruz. They were spying on all the Republican candidates. Probably except the Bushes, but who would need to spy on Jeb Bush with such low energy and low polling numbers? Yeah. So that's kind of what that one's talking about, and it talks about how the data collection happened with the umbrella, where I talk to you, and then you talk to Don Jr. Don Jr. talks to his dad, and all of a sudden you can look at every person they've talked to in their whole lives, and that's how this surveillance works with the two-jump scenario, with the two-jump rule, or two-hop rule, whatever it is. And that's how they targeted all these people and spied on them illegally. And this was all set in motion. Remember, one more thing is really important to kind of take into account. What I talk about here and what we talk about in other videos, this was all set in motion when some incredible patriots, General McInerney and Admiral Ace Lyons, came forward on Dave Yonda's show and exposed the fact that they were using illegally this surveillance tool. Almost the day after, you have James Comey launching the Russia investigation and then launching the special counsel. This was all coordinated in order to keep President Trump from exposing their criminality, their corruption, what they've done. And now it's all projection. I mean, you hear Nancy Pelosi, it's laughable. She says, "And President Trump's engaged in a cover-up." Okay, right. And like here in this article, they quote Schiff's tweet, where he says, while Trump stonewalls the public from learning the truth about his obstruction of justice, Trump and Barr conspire to weaponize law enforcement and classified information against their political enemies. The cover-up has entered a new and dangerous phase. This is un-American. No, you know what's un-American, Adam Schiff, is exactly how you're trying to paint the picture that President Trump and Attorney General Barr are doing exactly what the Obama administration did in coordination and conjunction with the intelligence community and you yourself, sir. So please stop lecturing us on what you're guilty of. It's the only tactic they have left is to accuse their opponents of what they are most guilty of. It's a form of psychological projection, and it's a way for them to avoid to manipulate the public into believing their lies. That's really what it is. And here are the tweets the posts we've got from Q in March, in January of 2019, where he talks about the fact that Cruz was spied on as well. It wasn't just President Trump, and it was probably many, many others. And that all goes back to the hammer. That all goes back to what I've been doing as far as reporting here. And it's really the investigative work of Mary Fanning and Alan Jones. But I'm just saying this is what we're up against. This is the incredible conspiracy that's going against President Trump. And Q just says, follow the watch, Q, in response to this Anon's post. And this to me is really fascinating because then it brings all these weird questions in. The watch is something we've been seeing. A lot of these Q posts will have a picture of a watch and they're different times. So those are timing for different events to happen. That's basically what a lot of Anons have read it as well as whose watch is it? It's like a $12,000 TWC watch or IWC watch, and maybe it's Cruz's watch. Maybe Cruz is in on this. Maybe Cruz knows. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. We'll be following the watch, and there's a lot more to read into that, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to kind of, we'll touch back on that a little bit later. Here's the next one. An Anon asks, is POTUS going to ask the Queen about UK assist? That's so funny. Foreign assist underway with DOJ, and then it gives this Guardian article, which refers us back to this story from about 2 years ago, where right as President Trump took office, almost the same day, coincidentally, you have the former GCHQ chief, Robert Hannigan, quitting his job. Oh, I wonder if there's a coincidence in why the former head, which would basically be like the John Brennan, the head of the CIA of British intelligence, this guy, he quit. Oh, well, why did he quit? It supposedly it was after the Snowden revelations and he just wanted to be with his family. No, it's because I would speculate that he is directly involved with the plot to set up President Trump in allowing the U.S. intelligence to come to London and to utilize their assets, such as Christopher Steele and then others like Alexander Downer, in order to set up this Russia collusion hoax so that they could try to impeach the president. So now you have the head of an intelligence agency in a foreign country involved in a conspiracy against the president of the United States of America. Is anybody grasping the gravity of how serious this is yet? I hope so. I really hope so, because this is beyond anything. And then it says "Fly may fly." If you guys will recall, when have we heard someone fly? The last one was, of course, Fly Roth fly, as in fly the Rothschilds. So I guess I'm guessing here, speculating that May's a Rothschild puppet and that she's being obviously removed from office as we speak, except now there's new reports saying that she could linger for weeks until President Trump's visit, which is just, to me, okay, the UK's got some big problems. Hopefully the MEP elections for European Parliament shook some things up over there. I think it's fair to say if people like Tommy Robinson get into the European Union, it's going to make it a heck of a lot more interesting to watch at the minimum. So that's what we have here. I think it's obviously just a note to say, look, May's out of there, which I think is very fascinating. The next one is an Anon saying Carter Page Anon to Carter Page, of course, because, Q just said Page. So they were asking, what is Page standing for, which pretty easy to put that one together quick. If you've been following this for a while, a lot of people, come in and out. So there's a lot of information here. But it says Carter Page, public, FISA. Remainder are still under classification until today. Waterfall of proofs coming post D-Class Q. So you heard it here. We have a waterfall of proofs coming. And what's going to end up happening, I think, more overly, is we're going to be able to look back more and more at the Q posts and say, all right, well, that's provable, that's provable, that's provable. And the more we get that, the more we'll be able to see the broader context of this conspiracy against the president. And that's really what this is about. I don't even think, it's somewhat political, but it should be completely apolitical to want to get to the bottom of what happened and to be exposing these corrupt criminals for what they've done. I mean, I just don't get it sometimes, the way people, politicize this stuff. Not saying that I'm perfect, but, Anyway, the next one is Dan on here asking about Julian Assange. And Q just responds by saying, under protection, threat is real. Key to DNC source hack 187Q. So obviously this is a response to the story that came out yesterday about Julian Assange facing new indictments, and that could carry a sentence up to life in prison or, I believe, the death penalty. But this, to me, is Q saying, look, we're protecting an asset who has information that's very valuable that needs to get out there. And I do believe that Julian Assange, if he was convicted for all these things, it's a very good possibility he would be pardoned, just as President Obama pardoned Chelsea Manning. Except this time, it would be better, I guess. But I leave that to you guys. And we have to wait and see on what happens with Julian Assange, because that's, to me, is like a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in a you-know-what. So the next couple here are pretty simple. These are just going back in April of 2015, when we were being told, and even before that, to look at what the Five Eyes was involved in, and how what wasn't public at that time was that the Five Eyes, the UK and Australia and POTUS, were targeting POTUS using the Russia decoy meetings and campaign insertions. So it was all a coordinated effort. It wasn't just U.S. intelligence. It was Obama with UK, Australian intelligence setting up President Trump with these Russia decoy meetings and campaign insertions, and Hussein and HRC and Loretta Lynch and John Brennan and James Clapper. And we're all sitting around in the National Security White House Situation Room. And it was an operation they were running with the help of the UK and Australia. That's what the Anon points out here, and Q just kind of points to this. So we already kind of put that together. But again, if you come here, this is even more. There's a highlighted section here from one of the Anons that Q points to where it says, FISA equals implicates senior members of UK, MI5, 6, SIS, U.S. intelligence, White House, Five Eyes, Republican Party, Congress, Senate of known corruption and effort to retain power and rig election, plus safeguard events by political kill to act while in power given mainstream media fake push Russia narrative. FISA equals ties MSM heads, TV behind corporate, to Democrat Party, other foreign heads of state in cooperative strategy. So when Q says that D-Class brings the house down, it does, because it shows that not only were they all coordinated in the intelligence agencies against the president, but all the top brass at these mainstream media companies were involved too. And they had to be, because they would have to be dumb as a sack of rocks, hypothetically, to not be able to see this for what it is. They're either willfully ignorant or they're complicit. There's only two options. And I'm going to go with complicit, but we just don't know. And anyway, the next one here, and Anon says, what about the Comey report? Q says, moves and countermoves, misdirection sometimes creates one person to turn on another. Publicly coming soon, Q. Of course, we know the C in the brackets there is talking about Comey, and it's talking about him being indicted soon, which is, I think it's just a matter of time before that happens at this point. And it's funny because they talk about the Comey report that was supposed to come out, and now it's looking like just by putting that on the board, it has pushed and putting a few things out in the media, it has pushed these people to start just panicking like the rats they are, turning on each other, and trying to blame one another for their own misdeeds when they know they're all guilty. Just as we know here, where we got this FISA-gate poster, that's going to be the next hammer to drop, pun intended, hammer, as in the same tools they were using to spy on President Trump and the American people. And of course, we have this one again, which is always great. It's got even more movie posters now, which my favorite was the one here, Re-elect Trump 2020, make liberals cry again. Oh, man. Don't steal that. I'm going to put that on a hat or a t-shirt. You guys, I'm going to put this one on a t-shirt. You guys should go buy it. I'm going to put that. I think it's awesome. Because I'll wear them. I'm basically, I make the t-shirts that I want to wear. So if you guys want to get them, they're down in below here. And now the next one here, it says, why did POTUS circumvent DNI Coates' normal protocol for D-class and give authority directly to AG Barr? Q. Now this is what we come all the way back. We circle all the way back. Here's Dan Coates, the Director of National Intelligence. There's no way that he did not know that Obama with Brennan and Clapper were abusing the hammer against President Trump, that they weren't illegally, or that they were, there's no way he could not have known they were illegally surveilling President Trump. And he's one of the most, the top intelligence figures in the country. And the fact that President Trump chose through this order to give the authority to declassify to the Attorney General as opposed to the Director of National Intelligence tells you everything you need to know about who you can trust in this. And I don't think it's this man. But that's pretty much where we're going to have to leave it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. A few more things before we go. Come here, click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. If you guys like this content and want to see me make more, hit the like button. Share these videos on social media because, like I said, these don't get put into the suggested video algorithm for whatever reason. I wouldn't be able to tell you why, but they're not going to suggest this video. So the only people who are watching these videos are the people who are coming and finding this information. So I really think you guys should try to share these on your social media. That helps the channel out big time. And leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below because I want to hear what you have to think about everything. And also, we have all of this in President Trump's Twitter that we can get to really quick. I want to just tell everybody to come check out President Trump's Twitter. Go through it for yourself. It is incredible, funny, clever, informative, everything you need to know. And, you should really just go check it out if you haven't and subscribe. And also, you can come find me on Twitter at JustinFormU. That's a great way you can connect with me outside of the YouTube channel. And you can come here and just tweet at me and follow me. And it's pretty cool. So I really appreciate all of your support there. And don't forget to check out justinformednews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. You get links to all the Q stuff, links to different news websites and so on, and all the videos from the channel here. Plus, you guys should come over if you can and support the channel financially via Patreon, patreon.com/justinformedtalk. It's a crowdfunding website. Link in the description. Just come here. Without you guys, I would never have been able to survive this long. And I just am thankful to God for your support. So thank you. If you can support, it's a monthly donation. Link in the description. Click this button to become a patron. Set it and forget it. Know you're helping create content. Also, if you guys want to do a one-time or anonymous donation, I have this GoFundMe set up. Both those links will be in the description below. Before we go, I do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace. Now, it is truly greater. And for this one, I want to read something that's just, it speaks volumes to how I feel about the Lord and how I think we should all feel about the Lord. It is Psalm 28, and it talks about my strength. It says, Lord, I call to you, my rock. Do not be deaf to me. If you remain silent to me, I will be like those going down to the pit. Listen to the sound of my pleading when I cry to you for help, when I lift up my hands toward your holy sanctuary. Do not drag me away with the wicked, with the evildoers who speak in friendly ways with their neighbors while malice is in their hearts. Repay them according to what they have done, according to the evil of their deeds. Repay them according to the work of their hands. Give them back what they deserve, because they do not consider what the Lord has done or the work of his hands. He will tear them down and not rebuild them. And that's Psalm 28, verse 1 through 5. And the Lord is our strength. And against such great evil, we must call on the Lord. And that's where I want to leave that. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure you hit the like button if you guys want to see me make more of this content. That's going to be it for me. I want to say thanks for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.